Okay everyone, welcome to my tutorial on how to record video games on the computer and upload them to YouTube. Now I need you all to hold on to your seats as this is going to be a bumpy ride. Okay, to start you will need some programs already installed on your computer. These programs include Sony Vegas Pro 9 or 10. You can either obviously go to the website and pay for it or get it by your own means. I'm not going to go into that details as I'm not allowed to, but whatever. You also need to get Fraps. Again, buy it from the website or download it. Otherwise, that's obviously not me, but I got it. Okay, so make sure you have these programs installed, but you do not need them at the moment, so just kind of close them. Next, if you have an intro clip, make sure you know where it is. I'm not going to explain to you how to make one, but if someone has made one for you, you can certainly be sure to have one. Here's mine, obviously. Has a little music and yada yada. Okay, so once you have this stuff, you are ready to begin. My intro clip is 1080p, 30 frames per second, about 10 megabytes per second. You've got to make sure it's as high quality as possible, even if it's a huge file size, because it'll be compressed when you render your final video. And make sure it's as big as possible. Okay, next, if you have any virus scans going, make sure you pause them or cancel them, because that will seriously screw up your performance. Okay, in Fraps, make sure you have Record Desktop Manager checked and everything else unchecked. On the Movies tab, check your location. Make sure it's recording at 60 frames per second, or if you have a lower end PC, 30 frames per second if it causes lag. I have mine set to record full size because of maximum quality possible. Again, if you have a slower computer, you might do half size because it records faster and doesn't cause frame rate lag. Now for audio, make sure you have Record Windows 7 audio checked and microphone unchecked. Now as for where you record it, I'm recording to a separate hard drive for speed purposes. You just tell it to record wherever you want your video to be saved. If you have a second internal hard drive to record to, record there. Next, you're going to want to launch your game. I'm launching it through Steam because that's my gaming platform. The game I'm going to be launching is Minecraft. We're going to be playing some Minecraft. Okay? Okay. So launch your game. I had to pause it to set some up, but launch your game. Make sure you have Fraps open. You probably don't want Sony Vegas open because it'll cause lag problems. Log into your game, do whatever. Once the Steam overlay goes away and it stops lagging for some reason. So make sure you're into your game and stuff. Blah blah blah, intro screen, Mojang Studios. Okay, that counter in the top right corner where it says 65, that's your frame rate. How many frames per second the game is sending to your screen. Obviously your screen's not rendering that many per second, but whatever. Okay, in most games you'll want to turn down your video settings a bit, turn down the graphics a bit, and I don't make it smaller like I am here, but where instead of fancy I have it on fast. That way it'll be able to render it easier and not cause as many problems recording. Now, once you're in game, set up and do whatever you need to do to be able to record. That way you can play your game and record what you want to record in your game video, like whatever you're going to talk about or whatever. In this case, it's a Minecraft video. Now take note of your hotkey to record, because you have to use that hotkey to start recording. Now to start recording, hit that hotkey, and as you can see in the top right corner, the frame rate counter turned red to say that it's recording, and the frame rate drops when you record because it takes longer. Meanwhile, thousands of miles away. Next, do whatever it is you need to do inside your game to show off in the video. In this case, I'm showing off Dragonite inside of Minecraft. Did not really expect to, but I found him, so here he is. It's Dragonite pixel art done inside of Minecraft. Kind of impressive, but make sure you get whatever you want recorded. Then when you're done recording, hit the hotkey again to stop the recording process. Okay. Once you have your video recorded, you're going to want to find your intro clip. If you have one, drag it into Sony Vegas. Then find your recorded clips. Hit Control to select multiple files. Drag them into Sony Vegas. Okay? Okay. Alright, now that you have all of your video files in your Project Media tab on Sony Vegas, first of all you want to make sure you save your project, because it can crash at random moments and you'll lose hours of work if you do not. So just save it as whatever. trollolol.vig saves it for you. Now, if you have an intro clip, drag and drop it onto your timeline. If you do not, then don't worry about this step. Just leave it for right now. If it has intro music, that's good. If you're cutting your own intro music, it's probably a bad idea, but whatever. Okay, so then if you want to add any text, you go to the end of your intro clip and say insert, right click the timeline, hit insert text media, and this window will pop up. You then just say, hit Control A just like that, delete that, say whatever you want, like Minecraft Dragonite, you mad? And change the font to whatever you want. Doesn't really matter. Then you might shorten it up a bit, because 5 seconds can seem like a while when you're just watching text. And then you take your video clips from your game, one by one, once you've recorded what you've done in your game, drag them onto the timeline. One by one, make sure they're lined up perfectly and everything. Now the first thing you're going to want to do is drag your game audio file, audio stream onto another audio track. Your audio's, for both, just the game audio. Now, if it's a game with a lot of loud audio, you're gonna want to turn this down to maybe 20. I use about 17.4, but since I have my audio settings set already, I don't have to do that. But for most games, you'll want it about 17.4 to 30, depending on how loud it is. Now, one thing you'll notice in my preview pane here is these black bars, or pillar boxing as sometimes it's called, and when I click like a frame in which I'm moving, let me find another one, like that, there's like 3 different layers of the video. Now for every single video file on your list here, including your intro clip, unless it is a straight 4x3 square video in which it's going to get stretched and ugly, you right click each video, switches, maintain aspect ratio. Does not work for this one because it's already the right aspect ratio, but hit disable resample as well. Now the reason for this, I play on a monitor that is 1440 by 900 resolution. That is 16 by 10, and we're rendering to a 16 by 9 resolution, so there's a bit of a difference. For most games, hitting switches, maintain aspect ratio, it fills in the pillar boxes and it doesn't make it look bad at all. Now if you're playing an old game or you play on a square monitor, you're going to want to leave it square because most games will look pretty bad stretched that much. And then some games, even played on a monitor like mine, will look bad if you stretch it. So again, for every video clip, right click, switches, maintain aspect ratio, and disable resample. For pictures and text, you do not have to do this. Does not affect it. Now, I often like to have my video fade in and fade out. So you use the scroll wheel, or I think the up arrow key, and zoom in a little bit, and then when you line up with the top left corner of your video track, it'll have your fade offset. Just click and drag that a little bit, and then when you play it, you'll have a nice little fade in effect there. Same thing with the end, click, scroll in a little bit, then find that little symbol to pop up, make a nice little fade effect, and then you'll see it fades out. Looks very nice. Okay. Now time for your commentary. Depending on where you want to start, I'll just start at the end of the text. You click at the end of your intro clip or whatever. Hit the record button, assuming your mic works. And then you talk and record your commentary. And Sony Vegas picks it up, records it, and keeps it normal. Now if you talk quietly or you're farther away from your farther away from your mic, you're going to want to turn this volume up a little bit. I do not need to do so. And again, you're going to have to play it back a couple times to make sure your game volume is not too overbearing on your on your commentary, because it's really annoying to have games or gameplay videos where the game sound completely overtakes the commentary and you can't hear what the person is saying. And just watching someone play a game without commentary can get pretty boring. Now, once you have this whole thing commentated out, set up just like you like, we're going to render it. Let's say commentary goes all the way to the end of the video. See these little yellow triangles? You take this, you click the triangle and drag it. It'll start at the beginning of your clip all the way to the end. Now if you have audio going past, say your commentary goes a little bit longer than the video and you don't have any video to replace it with, you can still drag it to the end there. But for the sake of this, let's not do that. Let's just put it right here where it goes. Okay, Now that you have all that selected, again, save your video project, because sometimes computers will crash during the rendering process. Not likely, but I mean, depending on if you have an old computer or not, it happens. Go to File, Render As. Now, I'm going to tell you my settings. Not necessarily the settings you have to use, but it works for me very well. I use Windows Media Video 11 and WMV, and then I have my own custom codec setup. Now to make this codec, I start with the 8 megabytes HD 1080-30p video. Then I hit Custom, and actually, let me just go on and pull mine up to show you. Go to Custom, and then you type, and then you make sure your audio is on constant. And for YouTube, really just use 256 kilobytes per second. I sometimes use music, so I use 320. I'm OCD, you don't really need that. Then click the Video tab. Constant bitrate. Windows Media Video 9 is just the easiest. High definition, 1280 by 720. Aspect ratio is square. I really want to learn how to record like that, but that's not really possible with PC gaming stuff. Frame rate, 29.97 NTSC. 5 seconds per keyframe. Can't really explain that right now, but just make sure you have that. Override, just make sure this box is checked. 8. Drag this slider, usually it's about like right here, all the way to the end to 100. Then go over here to the bitrate tab. It'll probably have you like checked right there. Uncheck it. Check this one. I use 8 megabytes per second. Or if it's for like 2D games that don't have much graphics, I'll do 5 megabytes per second. Takes up a lot of space, but it's worth it for the quality. Skip this tab. Then click the project tab and make sure you're on best. It doesn't do it by default, and sometimes it looks better. Then up here in template, type the name of your template. Mine's YouTube 720p. Hit save. Then hit OK. Then hit save here, and it'll begin rendering your video. It'll take quite a while, and then you'll eventually end up with a WMV file like this one. It can be pretty big depending on how long it is. And then you just upload it to YouTube. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you for watching. Please ask any questions in the comments below. And have a nice day. Please be sure to subscribe. Click the like button as it helps me out a lot. And yeah.